strategy using technology. In this lecture, I'm taking you through something called business process modeling. So once you do have a strategy, this strategy is supposed to transform your old legacy businesses and deliver something new. And to deliver something new, you need to split your big task into processes and activities. So I'm going to take you through key functions here, key ways of analyzing your business processes and expressing them to business partners, to founders, sponsors, and other stakeholders. So how we develop a problem-solving picture or a sort of view definition of a problem, how we can develop a rich picture, which is a demo cartoon diagram where you have a round table between people, a round table discussions. You keep raising the issue and talk about conflicts and discourse. Data flow diagrams is another way of doing it. And then Innovator Enterprise Suite, which is another smooth electronic way of doing things. So problem-solving approaches. Now, usually if you have a system that is hard, which includes components, you know what is going on. You can have it like equation, like linear programming, resources, inputs and outputs. Now, this could be easy to define, but in the internet age and information age, we have more wicked situations where the maximum you can do is to get a soft view, so you get ad hoc picture and both contingency. So you would say you need to put some assumptions, and you would say if this happened, the results would be that. Now my view, my picture, my glasses is this, and these are just my assumptions. So when you do this, you can have a contingency and you don't ask people to always agree with you. It's just your limited view. Now, there are many models on how to define a business problem and information system problem. One of these famous approaches is the 7-stage model by Peter Checkland, where he proposes the first step is you go and approach people, do a sort of human activity analysis, see what is going on, what they need, if there is any problem. Once you have an expression, a clear expression of the problem, then you need to go put root definition, propose a transformation, and set who can do it with you, who is going to sponsor, who is going to be responsible, what is the ideal view, and I will take you through something called Katowi analysis, where you can define a root of your problem. So the first two stages, you have something hypothetical in your desk, and then you can put some root definitions to do it in practice and try to develop the system, compare between what is supposed to happen and what is going on. So when you try to develop the system, you might see deployment, problems, people would resist it. So you will compare and contrast between the ideal view and the real view, and then go back, propose these comparisons to the real stakeholders, and tell them we need to do some changes. We need to do some changes in our business model, in our organizational hierarchy, strategy, or we need to have a new system. And then you go do some actions. And then you keep continuing in the loop again. So it's a full process from hypothesis and conceptual mind into reality and vice versa. So 7 model approach of Peter Checkland, and please consult the material underneath this video so you can get to know about Peter Checkland much more. So once you have a key definition of your problem, you need to express it. Now we will discuss soon the root definition and Katowi analysis, but before we do this, we can express our problem through a rich picture. And why it is rich? So a rich picture means deep understanding of what is going on, deep expressions. A rich picture would give you a clue with a key. Who are the key stakeholders involved? If they have a scissor, if they have a key conflict discourse between them, it should be clear. It would tell you that whoever was involved in this round discussion during the development of this rich picture, when they see the rich picture, they can remember what was happening out there, and then you keep having different cartoons, different rich pictures. So you can see the differences between the previous view and the new view. You can see how we could melt the ice and override all these clashes and solve the problems. So if you have a look at this simple cartoon, now you can see it from different views. If it is a group of employees and their employers, when they sit together, you can see how employees are suffering. They have no pensions, no compensations, they work overtime, while they build a rich person, a rich owner on the top of them. Now, it could be another view, it could be capitalism, so it has many meanings. But whoever was involved in drawing this diagram would have a clear idea, and then this could be attached with a description, a written description. Think of the power of this picture, how the Guardian's been expressing the Vice Chancellor in Germany, how she controls Euro to help Greek. So she's leading the whole European leaders to give 2 big loans to Greek. Now, this could be a political picture, it could be an economic picture. Think of how our mobile phones are leading our lives. Think of how a young child decides which mobile phone his mother would buy because he likes to play games. So simple rich picture, cartoon rich picture could help, having a deep idea about the problem. A classical rich picture, which is open, in the web, you can find lots of examples. Open University have a platform of example rich pictures, so go and have a look, and you will see the link attached underneath this video. And frankly, it will take you through different agricultural technology examples, technology in oil and upstream activities, and other cases as well. So this picture, for example, is talking about a clash in a decommissioning project where the British government, especially the NHS, been trying to decentralize their budget. So every GB and local district will have a decentralized budget. And then what they are going to use with this budget is every GB or hospital, they will be in their own. Which means once they do the surgery or the operation for a patient, they might kick this patient away because normally they need to save their expenses, save their budget. While when it was central, there was a compromise. So profitable hospitals, busy hospitals will take more funding than the less busy hospitals. So it would be centralized and there is a coordination out there. So have a look at this picture and read Evison and Fitzgerald book, which is the source of this book, of this rich picture. It could be an animation rich picture, so moving or movable rich pictures, tells you about before and after. But then it is really difficult to express this in a sort of printed papers because they are not simply moving. So the only way you can do it is you have a sequence of pictures, of images, to tell you what is going on. Now I'm going to take you through the second stage of expressing a problem. So whether it is hard or soft, we start doing rich picture, and then after you do the rich picture, you need to do something called root definition, as per the 7-stage model. Now the root definition assumes that you have inputs and you do some transformation and then you do have output. I will take you through CATOE analysis, CATWOE, and every alphabet means something different. So T means transformation, which is the key thing. So once you propose a strategy, you propose a transformation. Examples of transformation, look at a local theater, people are not entertained and you want to make them entertained, which means you need to have an ideal view, a benchmark. A benchmark could be Hollywood style. Then who can help to do this? Do we need a production company? Are we talking about campaigns, awareness campaigns, training for actors? Now, there is a key rationale behind it here, is that maybe we can use theater not just to entertain, but to educate. So this could be part of the transformation. And there's a list of transformation cases here. You can have a look in the slides about them and assume that you are going to propose a transformation in your company. Now, your company could be a big corporation where you have oil upstream activities, and you think of how you can develop low carbon emission grid. Now, what should be the case? High carbon emission, low carbon emission. This means you need to collect data about how much carbon emissions comes during each step in your upstream activities. To do this, you need to transform many things, many internal operations, and every data should feed back into the system. Now, Katoa analysis assumes that you do have customers who would benefit from this transformation. So C for customers, A for actors. Who can do it? It is your team as a consultant, as a paid consultant. There are other subordinates from the owner of this business and other stakeholders, regulators in some other cases. Then the transformation itself, which is T, and then the W view, which means the ideal view. So this is the promise, high quality theater, for example, Hollywood style. The owners, who's going to pay you? Who's going to be responsible if this system fails? And then what are the constraints, environmental constraints? Now this could be financial constraints, it could be social constraints, cultural things, it could be many things. So have a look, for example, as a box office. So this box office, who are the key customers and what is the required transformation? If the required transformation is to have less queues and shorter waiting time, then the customers would be the management of this box office. They need to do different routines, increase the customer service agents, do other things. Now, so they are the actors, and their fellow employees are part of the actors. The ideal view is to maximize the revenues and get more people with less time of waiting, less queues, shorter queues. The owners could be the box office or the management. The constraints could be delivering online booking, for example, the cost of doing this, traffic jam around your box office. Some of my experiences as a lecturer is to do consultancy, and one of these projects I've been involved in is Vodacash and eMasari in Egypt, where we've been delivering mobile money system. So frankly, you can have a bank in your pocket, as easy as it is. So you upload cash and you get a wallet full of money. You can transfer this money to a friend, to a relative. You can download it as well into physical cash. So in doing so, you can have a root definition, Katoa analysis, using not just one view. It could be technical view, so causality and resources. It could be organizational view, more about consensus and agreement between people, and it could be about political view, personal view, which means everybody has vested interest, might say yes or might say no. So in this system, for example, technical root definition would be, we need to build a firewall that helps different stakeholders, central bank, Vodafone group, get together and they have authorized access, so they can manage data and they can manage privacy and the confidentiality. Now, the key actors of this, the company, Masari company, the IT manager, IT vendors, all IT staff and telecoms, they need to have such a thing. So this is more technical. The ideal view is to have a maintained wire frame with authorized access to everybody, so everybody is protected. The owners is the board of directors of this company, and the ideal view is to have branchless banking and cashless society. If you have a look at this rich picture associated with the root definition, so both are technical, you will see mainly scissors reflect clashes on the technical things, especially between the board of directors of this company and Vodafone and other telecoms. You could see examples when they collaborate with microfinance institutions in the local area. So these are technical issues to be sorted. Reporting techniques are some examples of this. So if you have a bank dealing with telecoms, dealing with microfinance institutions, the reporting techniques might be completely different, and this is another technical issue. Organizational root definition and rich picture. And you can see, for example, when you look at the organizational rich picture, you can see two sons of the president of Egypt at that time been dominating the central bank of Egypt, and they've been dominating all banks around. They are in the board of directors in all of them. So once you launch a parallel banking system, they wouldn't have a vested interest on this. So they've been delaying the regulatory framework to launch this system. And all of these things are more organizational views. Then personal view, this is more about personal attitude and how specific people would resist to go for it. Retail agents, for example, if you look at this rich picture, they've been suffering from a low commission. They are not really involved, they are not well trained. So sometimes they cannot represent the company as they are supposed to do, and they get depressed. Now, we've been through the 7-stage model where we've spoken about how we express a problem using rich picture and root definition category analysis. Another technique of identifying business process and identifying how we can do things. So once you define the problem, you need to build a model, and you can use data flow charts to build this model. Now, if you stop this video, please, have a look at the attached YouTube video that tells you what is data flow charts. So it's as simple as this. You have key stakeholders in the process. So for example, if you place an order on Amazon by phone, you will place an order. So this is a piece of data, would go through a customer service agent who would accept your order and will send it through a database to check your records. He will check your bank account, he will check your previous order history. You need to access different databases. There will be a store, a manager who have another database, and then they need to check the storage. If there's an available item, then they need to come back to you. So frankly, data flow charts are ways to represent how the process could be done through different stakeholders, and it states the data required to be delivered two ways between the stakeholders, so the final process could be performed. Okay, so stop this video and have a look and come back to me. It gives you an example of placing an order online. Thanks for coming back. We're still talking about data flow charts. Now, data flow charts could be about one process. It could be about more than a process at the same time. So it could be a simple data flow chart or a complex data flow charts. I want you now to think of your salary. So how we can develop a business process through a data flow chart technique for your salary. Now, you think with me this way. There's a database where the payroll with access to your HR contract. So there's a personnel, these people in the payroll and HR, they access your personnel database to see what is your basic salary, have you been promoted or not, and then they will issue a basic salary for you. Later on, they might see you've been promoted, you've been absent, you bought your annual leave, you've been compensated, you got overtime payment, so there might be a difference. So the same person, or maybe a different person in the same division, would access to the variances database, and then they will create a variance which would reflect back in the figures that you will receive in your salary. And then if the payroll issued a check for you, then the check could be accessed to your bank account, so they need to get access to your bank account details so they can send it to you. They need to know who you are and your details and your history, if you changed your address, if your detailed contact things match your bank details and your payment details. So you can see now a full diagram of information system for payroll and salary payment. Now, through these previous steps, we've been trying to define a problem and develop a business process through rich pictures, through root definition, category analysis, through data flow charts, and finally, Innovator Enterprise Suite. Now, this is a free software. You can download a demo version for 30 days, try to use it. Now, this can develop a business process from different views. So it could be from employer's point of view when you apply for an interview. It could be from your point of view as an applicant. It could be a comprehensive multi-layers view of how to do things. So I want you to stop this video, and there are associated videos to this in the links. Just press them and have a look. Try to do it in your way. You can download the demo software in your machine. It's free, and try to reflect on them. Okay, thanks for stopping by again. I wish you enjoyed these 3 videos about Innovator Enterprise Suite. I guess now you will have a picture of how to define a problem and propose or represent a business process that helps transforming the business using technology. Thank you for listening, and I wish you enjoyed it. Go back to the previous lectures and try to go ahead and be ready for your final assessment.